Good morning, good afternoon, and good day to all, and welcome to another edition of Homie Picks. It is me, it is Ben, it is Lou. Fellas, what's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling?
Another beautiful day to talk about sports and hopefully get more picks right this week. I mean, I'm too many 3 in 2 weeks for me. It's no good.
It means you're better than average, though. So,
Yeah, yeah. Average, I'll take it. I mean, my Giants doing Giants things per usual, looking horrible. I'll take it. Feel bad for your Baltimore Ravens after last week. Right to your soul, that loss.
James
what,
gotcha.
Jay,
Yeah, he ate it. He ate it for sure.
with it. It was, I ain't gonna front. I was at work. It was funny. My coworker was clowning me. It was pretty funny. And it's funny because he's a Jets fan. And as his Jets are losing, my Ravens, we just scored and went back up. And I'm sitting back, like, all right, watching the game. And as James is driving down the field, my chick gradually was coming up and sitting up to the point where I was like looking at the phone, like, he just kept clowning me, like, hey, you see, keep moving up, bro. My time. And sure enough, Jameis got this, man. It was looking like Florida State Jameis Winston. It was crazy. But hey, I mean, and we all suffered a loss this week. Not only just our football teams, but our Yankees.
I don't want to talk about that.
We're gonna have to talk about it at some point. It's too soon. The wound is too fresh. But at some point, we're gonna have to discuss that. If that was atrocious. Nick, Lou, your Knicks are looking good.
Looking
Um,
good. Man. I'm happy about it. The one silver lining I got this week was the Knicks, bounce back from opening season loss and then a loss to the Cavs, which we should have had. But early season, I take it.
I mean, at that time, they were the two undefeated team. Well, not saying much because it was early in the season, but Cavaliers and Boston are the two top teams in the East right now. So it's not a bad way to start our season. I mean, I'm surprised my Nets are actually 3-3, and
Yeah.
actually we should have been 4-2 because we should have beat Denver. I'm actually very surprised by how good my team is playing. So it is what it is. But we'll talk more about those good things another time. Right now, it's Week 9 NFL. We're going to start off right now with Dallas and Atlanta. Right now, Atlanta is a 3 point favorite, 190, 176, and over under is 45 and a half. Lou, how do you see this one going?
I have no faith in Dallas right now. I mean, Dallas looks like, the Midwest Giants right now. Like outside of CD Lamb, like they have no running game. So at this point, you just let your cornerbacks and safeties do what they do. I mean, you can let CD Lamb run amok and you can still win this game, which is crazy. I think Bijan's coming into his own. I think he's figuring it out. And I don't know. I like Kirk Cousins better than Dak Prescott right now. Al Pitts is coming on strong, so I'm taking the Falcons.
Okay. Okay. Ben?
Yeah, both of these teams I don't trust. To be quite honest, I don't trust either of the teams. Sometimes Atlanta's offense looks like it's unstoppable, and then they just can't put up 20 points. So it's kind of a weird thing with that. I guess it's because Cousins is still probably recovering from the whole surgery thing, and he's not 100% there yet, maybe. But they are playing better than Dallas for sure. They're in Atlanta. But I think I'm gonna take the Cowboys on this one. I know they're gonna be missing pieces as well, the Cowboys, but I feel like this is this game will make or break their season for Dallas. Like they really need to win this game to try and stay competitive. If they lose this game, their season is over. So basically, they're just going to be playing for draft picks. So just because of that, I just feel because of the urgency that they're gonna have to play with in this particular game and I just don't trust Atlanta 100% yet. I'll lean Dallas on this one. I'll take the underdog.
Yeah. Who was it that had Dallas last week? It was you, right, man? You said it
I,
was fresh
I,
off a bye week. They
yeah,
should be
yeah,
playing San Fran. That was the game plan, right?
that
Didn't
was.
it didn't work out that well. I'm on the same board as Lou. I like Atlanta in this one. I think Atlanta's a better team. I think Dallas kind of cooked this year. Which I know that's great news to hear for any Giant fan. Even if the Giants having a losing season or not, it's always good to see the Cowboys struggle and suck. Um, I think really it's a two-team race in that division, whereas Washington and Philadelphia. But yeah, I like Atlanta in this one. I think Atlanta's a better offensive team. I think defensively they do a lot more things better. They have more intangibles. I think they do on that side of the field. Dallas is a flash. Like that can look impressive one game and throw great in 2, 3 quarters. And there's always that one quarter where he just looks like he just doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I don't know,
And
man.
it's gonna, I think that's just going to happen. Kirk Cousins is not immune to the same stuff, but I kind of do trust Kirk more than I trust Dak at this point right now.
I
So
agree.
yeah, Orlando also on this one. Um, on to the next one. We got Rams Seattle. Rams are a 1.5 point favorite, minus 120, 47.5 over under. Benny, how you see this one going?
Yeah, so Rams are getting healthier finally, so they're starting to play a little bit better. Seattle's a weird team. Like they're a good team, but they're not like a above average good team. It's such weird because sometimes they put up points, but they give up more points than they put up. Sometimes they don't put up points and they keep their defense plays in. So and they have a good running back, which they just don't seem to utilize well. So I don't know. Seattle is a very interesting team for sure this year. I think DK is out this week. I'm gonna take LA here. I think they have the better coach. They're playing a little bit better. I think Puka might play, even though he got hurt in practice, but he might play. But they still got Cooper Cup. They're getting healthier. Their defense is getting a little bit better. And I right now I would just pick the better quarterback and Stafford to just pick the better quarterback between him and Gino.
I gotta agree with Ben on this one. I think without DK Metcalf, Seattle looks lost in the waters. They underutilized Kenneth Walker. I mean, they need to get him the ball, whether it's passing or running, get him involved both ways, but they're not doing that. So I'm gonna ride with the Rams on the sheer strength that they're getting healthy, and don't underestimate Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford could pretty much be put on any other team and probably take him to the playoffs right now. So I'm gonna roll with the LA Rams on this one.
For me, don't know. I think I want to go. I don't know. I kind of want to go with Seattle on this one, just to try to break up the monotony, I guess. You know, I just want to kind of go with this one. Kenneth Walker is still playing, correct?
I
I think as
think
long as you got him, you got a chance.
maybe he's missing in action though.
I think he got a chance even when he is there. I know Seattle hasn't looked that hot lately, and the Rams are getting better as the season progresses. But the Rams, I don't know, is every time they see me rise going up, they always kind of take a step back somehow. I think at Seattle, even though it doesn't really make or break anything. I think the 12th man is something, but it's not everything. It was more of a thing back when it was like the Legion of Boom era, Sherman and and those boys back there. But I think Seattle is a serviceable defense. I just can't trust Stafford. I can't trust Cup sometimes. And that's sad. I like Cup, but um, even though I think the Rams are getting healthier at a good time, I just feel like Seattle's just gonna just win at home. I just have an odd feeling that they're gonna win at home. So I'm just gonna go with Seattle on this one. Just gonna ride with my heart on this one. Um, but in another division, so that's the one NFC West division, moving to the Central. the central of the country. You do have a Detroit and Green Bay up in the NFC North. So uh, and Green Bay surprisingly is a good team. I did not see them being decent this year. I didn't have the Bears, the Mighty Bears, as number one. Let's not be fooled here. I had never had that this year, but um, they're actually Green Bay's actually a pretty decent team, and they're hosting the Detroit Lions, where the Lions should and are the favorites, 2.5 point favorite, minus 146, over under 47 and a half as well. Which is funny because both of these teams can score. So I definitely am going to go with the over on that one. These teams can score. Even when it's not Jordan Love or Jordan Love is playing, somehow, some way, Green Bay just still finds a way to score. Um, if Detroit gets hot, they can, by the time you blink, it'll be 40 something points on the board. And that's just what they're capable of doing. Detroit can outscore anybody just about. I think that's what's gonna. I think that alone is why they'll win the game. But defensively, they've been doing some nice things. Now, granted, they did destroy two shitty as the offenses, one in Dallas and one in Tennessee. But um, I still think that division game, Detroit has to put that staple on it and make sure that they put a notice out to everybody that this is our division. It's what they did against Minnesota. It's what they're going to do against Green Bay. And it's fun to see Detroit not be the junior stepchild, to the division anymore. We've all seen and remember those every Thanksgiving game where it's Detroit, Green Bay, and seeing Detroit just get shellacked. it, it was as traditional as mac and cheese and turkey, man. So it's good to see that things are changing up in Detroit. But yeah, I got Detroit. I got actually Detroit by 2 touchdowns, to be honest. Um, Ben,
Yeah, so much like yourself, I'm surprised by Green Bay. I thought they were going to be a good team. I just once I saw Love go down, I thought they were going to struggle for a bit, but they've navigated that fine. Love came back. He's still hobbling around, so he's not 100%, but he gives them a good chance to win anytime he plays. Um, Packers are the underdog. But I feel like the Packers defense is very opportunistic and they actually can get a good decent pass rush, and that's really the biggest thing that can deter Goff. He's such a traditional pocket passer and he doesn't really it's not really mobile. He doesn't run around much. So if you can move him off his spots, you can give him some trouble. So I think Green Bay's defense really can do that. I like their offensive weapons. I think their young receivers are really great. And they just keep on getting better, developing well. And I think the Packers have the advantage on the coaching side. I love Dan Campbell, he has his thing going, but he still makes some suspect calls here and there because he goes with his gut and whatnot. Um, and I just like the creativity of LaFleur he brings to the table. So yeah, if he can make Malik Willis look like a freaking all-star, I'm gonna lean with the Packers here. I know they're the underdogs, but they're at home, so I'll take Green Bay.
I don't know. I gotta go with Sonic and Knuckles right now. That's the new tandem in Detroit. Um, they remind me of a lot of the Thunder and Lightning of the Giants back in the 2000s. Um, and Amon St. Brown has scored a touchdown every week so far. The guy finds a way to get into the end zone, whether it's running, whether it's disguise plays. I think he's one of the least talked about wide receivers right now. You got Jeffries being talked about a lot and Jamar Chase. But he is probably the unsung hero of that team. He keeps them going. And Detroit looks like a monster right now. I don't think there's anyone that's going to slow down Detroit. So I think the Bettors got this a little wrong. I think this is going to be a blowout, like Jared said, because I don't trust Green Bay. Love looked a little banged up last week. I just can't trust him yet. So with that, I'm going with Sonic and Knuckles and the Detroit Lions.
Damn, I'm on the island this week.
I mean, hey, look, anything can happen. I know that. Now for the grand finale, we also have the two primetime games now. We're going to talk about Ben's Indy Colts going into Minnesota. Minnesota is the favorite, 5.5 point favorite, minus 245 and 46.5 over under, which is pretty decent considering how good Indy did play and how poorly Minnesota has been playing lately. Um, Lou, how do you see this one going?
I think the Colts heard me last week when I said they probably play better with Joe Flacco with Anthony Richardson because Joe Flacco starting. Anthony Richardson had to park his ass on the bench after saying he subbed out because he was tired.
Yeah, that was a bad look.
Bad look for
Can't
him.
can't deny
Uh,
that one.
I'm gonna roll with Ben's Colts on this, just on the sheer fact that Joe Flacco gives them exactly what they need, someone who can pass the ball. And hopefully they figure it out because Minnesota is like a team of tail two halves. Like they started off 5-0 and the chair got pulled out from under them. So they look pedestrian right now. I'm gonna go with the Colts though. I think they trust the running game and with Jonathan Taylor and they trust Flacco with his arm to make the right decisions. And I think Josh Downs is in line to have a big week.
I I want to go for Indy. I just don't know if Minnesota. This would be if Minnesota. This would be three straight losses.
Yeah.
I just can't see that. I think Minnesota understands what's on the table here. I think Minnesota understands that they need a win to keep this season going. Um, I do think Minnesota is now becoming more of an average team, but I do think and it's funny to say this as he's at his age now, which is still younger than us. But as long if the Colts go as far as Flacco goes, and that's fucking hilarious to say that right now. But um, yeah, I think that's a toss up to me. I don't care what the line is at 5.5. Like honestly, it's a toss up to me. I just really can't see Minnesota losing three straight games. I think that's the only thing that's selling me on Minnesota right now. I just can't see them lose three straight because you lose three straight and you're playing catch up in that division, not and you still have to fight for other playoff spots. Like the division is Detroit's to lose, and by that you're fighting with Green Bay. Um, so you're jockeying for position at this point, and yeah, I think just for the simple strength of I can't see them lose three straight. I'm gonna do Minnesota on this one. Uh, Ben, how you see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go here with the Colts. Not so much because of the Joe Flacco change. For me, I wouldn't have cared if they just kept playing Richardson because the guy just needs reps. But he tapped out, and then the Colts tapped out on that experiment. So they were like, no, let's just switch with Flacco. So now we switch with Flacco. Flacco is good, but he's just not that mobile. So he gets sacked a little bit more than Anthony does. So it creates more stress on the line. We have JT back full running game. I just think they're gonna be playing a little bit extra motivated just because they demoted AR. And also because the Vikings had that big comeback victory from I think it was like 2 years ago I think it was for a playoff berth, I think it was. And in the I'm sorry, Mini actually eliminated the Colts basically chances when they made that comeback. So it's a little bit of a get back game for them. Like I said, we have a Anthony JT back. He looks like he's 100%. So I think the running game is going to be going. So once the running game is going, it will create a lot of opportunities for Flacco. And of course, he's more accurate than Anthony at this point. So I just don't think it's going to be that much of a high scoring game, to be quite honest. It Because we haven't scored a lot with Flacco in their home. I think the most we scored is like mid 20s. So I know Mini has a good defense, but Flacco has seen so many of it, so it kind of washes each other out, so it might help him out. But Minnesota does have an injury on their offensive line, and Indy does have enough good pass rushers to make Darnold's life a little bit hectic back there. So I think just because of that, probably it's going to come down to a defensive turnover, a bad throw from Darnold, and that's probably going to be our win. But yeah, I'm going to go with the underdogs here. Indy wins. It's been underdog week for me, I see.
I mean, you say you're trying to not be 3-2, so you got to ride with the underdog, bro. I
Uh,
love it.
it's either 5-0 or 0-5.
Hey, let's ride, as they say, right? Well, as Lewis say.
Swing big, swing big, swing big.
um, thank God they got the week off. Um, and our last game, as I said, the other primetime game, Monday Night Football. Tampa going into Arrowhead, Gay Field, Jihad, whatever at Arrowhead, but going to Casey. But um, Vegas sees it as a blowout, 9.5 point favorite, 480 as the money line, and 45 and a half over under as well. Uh, yeah, Tampa is weird. I definitely think Tampa covers the spread. Um, I don't really trust KC's defense to really shut them out like that. And Tampa, against Baltimore and against who did they just play? I forgot who they just played. Oh, was it Detroit? No, I think it was Detroit.
Oh, that was early in the year.
Uh, who did
Maybe
they just
it's I can't remember. I don't keep up
I
with the
can't remember who
Bucks.
the hell they just played, but both times Tampa was getting their ass beat. And then next thing you know, in the fourth quarter, they just know how to play football. So um, for that simple strength, they can get beat down. But fourth quarter, they're electric. It was like the first quarter for them all of a sudden. And that's why I think they'll definitely cover that 9.5. So I don't see Casey covering that. I just don't see Tampa Bay winning this game either. I think everybody plays their best football when it comes to Casey, and respectfully so. They're the Super Bowl champions. Somehow, some goddamn way, they're undefeated. Um, they're getting better now, with trades. Um, I still I think it's Casey's game to lose, honestly. Tampa did have a nice start to the season. They were going electric. I definitely think the 45 and a half over under is laughable because they're both going to be high scoring teams. Um, so yeah, I think just off of KC just being KC at home, refs or not, I think KC wins this game. Ben.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think KC wins this game. I like Tampa is it's another one of those teams. It's a good bad team. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have really good pieces, they have really good players, and they look well, and then just somehow they end up winning. I mean, losing to some teams that they shouldn't have lost to. But yeah, I mean, Tampa's been doing well, but like they just lost Godwin for the year, I believe. Evans is a little banged up still. They've never really established a huge run game. So I don't know. I just think it's too much for them right now, particularly at Arrowhead. I have to disagree with you. I think KC's defense is what really has been keeping them in there. Like their defense is really good, particularly it's situational. Their defense is really, really well played. So I do like KC's defense, and again, I think Tampa's offense is a little bit hampered now because of the injuries. I agree with you that there's no way KC covers that because they're just not scoring that many points either. So. It'll be a closer game. I do feel KC wins by a touchdown, but definitely not by 10.
I'm gonna cap this off with a trifecta and say KC does win this game. I mean, Monday night at home, they have, four additional players on the field at all times when it comes to refs. Um, It can get it. I see this being a blowout on Monday night. I mean, I really do, just for the sheer fact that their defense is mean. Chris Jones is an animal, and he doesn't get talked about at all. And, you get Kelsey being talked about, you get Mahomes being talked about, Rashid Rice, even Hopkins is getting talked about more than that defense that actually kept them in games, like Ben stated. Um, yeah, I like this, and Casey always manages to make the right trade at the right time. You know, I picked up D Hop off waivers the moment he got traded. Shout out for the notifications at 7 a.m. in the morning while I was at the
Good
gym.
move.
So yeah, that came in clutch. But yeah, all seriousness, I think Casey is literally making their case to probably repeat again this year. And it's games like this on a Monday night where they get to just beat up on a team that was good a few weeks ago, but now with injuries just starting to fall apart. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a high scoring game. I think they definitely cover the total score. Maybe even by halftime. The way they sling the ball around. Uh, but yeah, I'm rocking with KC in the strength that they're home Monday night. Andy Reid is Andy Reid. Give that man a burger and some fries, and he's good to go.
Any surprises you ever think that happened this week? I know for me, I don't see Baltimore covering that 9.5 point favorite. I think I talked to y'all about that in
Yeah.
pre-production. I don't see it happening. Baltimore, um, well, they can score on teams, but just like that, but you just played a Cleveland team whose defense is not even as good as Denver's. So I don't see that happening. I can see a Pistol Ravens team, but I can't see them covering that spread. Um,
Yeah.
any for y'all this week?
I see for me probably one that might be surprising to some, but I could see LA beating Cincy here on this week coming up. Cincy hasn't been looking good. Um, Max Crosby should tee off on poor Burrow. I believe Higgins is out, so it's only with Chase and his tight ends and whatever. They are playing at home, but they haven't really defended home this year. So I would not be shocked if LA beats the Bengals.
I'll make it quick. Derrick Henry's touchdown streak continues. Please, I that man in my fantasy. I'm 7-1 right now with him. So keep going, Henry. Keep going, King Henry.
Get that man a touchdown.
Right.
Well, same thing. Nine, we're here. Like, share, subscribe. Tell us we're right. Tell us we're wrong. Um, Gotta figure out. I'm still very new to Discord. Join the Discord, I guess, too.
Yes, join
Yep.
the Discord.
On the
Yes.
Discord.
Discord, we have that now as well. We chat throughout the whole Sunday and stuff. It's pretty fun, entertaining. I gotta figure out how to do polls and stuff. Not sure polls. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Fuck y'all. Peace.
Peace.